Welcome to the latest segment of Bandit Tested, where it's real riders, real gear, and real riding scenarios. And this, my friends, from Kabuto, that is the Kamui helmet. George, welcome. Thanks for taking time away from your office and bringing us up to speed. Let's start with a couple basic things. How long did you actually have the helmet?
About 4 months.
Okay, and roughly how many miles do you think you put on it?
2,000, maybe 3.
Okay, and what's the bike? What's your machine? What are you riding?
2000 XR 650R, dual sport,
so
on-road, off-road.
So you're to sit out in the wind?
Yeah.
No fairings, no nothing, no wind protection?
Yeah, and that's a great helmet just for that. Very aerodynamic, yeah.
So right off the bat, I like to start with, and yes, we'll get into the details and materials and how lightweight it was and the ventilation and peripheral. We're going to get all into that. But on something like that, I don't know if y'all can take this in because it's studio lights and whatnot, but the graphics, I love Kabuto's graphics. Did you get any shoulder taps on, hey, what is that? What is that?
I did more than anything else. I think it was, the pin lock, which folks are wondering what I got going on in there. And, but the graphics, I personally love them. I think it's a complete mix of bold and, a little a classic, look you can take anywhere. It's just a sharp-looking helmet for everybody.
I agree. I mean, I think the rest of America has finally gotten to know me a little bit, that the fastest colors out there are red, white, and black. You put in a little silver, you add the matte, done in a pinstripe, bold, aggressive. I agree. I mean,
it's bold without the skulls and...
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, there's nothing wrong sometimes with skulls and daggers and barbed wire, but sometimes it's just that classic racing look of the line and whatnot. So that's the first thing that obviously attracts a lot of people to certain helmets. Then they start to look at, okay, materials used, super strong, lightweight. How is the aerodynamics? I mean, like you were saying, I mean, you're on a dual sport. You sit out in the wind. Yeah,
that's one of the strengths of this helmet, I think. It's there's really no buffeting. I turn my head, always doing checks on the freeway, even off-road. There might be an ATC or a trophy truck out in Baja. Nothing. Just perfect, smooth. At the end of the day, you might feel it because you're jumping up in the air off-road, but on the street, beautiful helmet to wear. Moves through the air. No jumping on your neck.
Right.
Yeah, you don't feel like you're pulling muscles at the same time.
And something like this, of course. I mean, on a dual sport, you sit there's no wind protection, there's no fairings. I mean, you're just up and out in the wind. Ventilation, let's talk, because that's a huge thing. I mean, obviously, you live in northern Baja and come across the border every day,
right?
Putting your time here at the office. Easy, it's the functionality aspect of it. So ventilation, let's get back to that really quick.
Yeah, what I like about it, being on a dual sport, one thing was that it has the internal visor. So you can leave this up and still not get smacked with bugs, dirt, rocks maybe.
Sure.
So in that sense, for a dual sport, I found it pretty effective. Ventilation is great. It has more than enough vents. Obviously, it has the vents up here. You can open and close the chin. Huge spoiler back here, draws it all out. You can feel it. The liner helps out. You can pull it out, rinse it off, let it dry, or don't let it dry. It feels great.
Yeah.
With the flow that it has, it works great. So.
Right on. Ease of use. I know sometimes, if you've got gloves on, etc., that's the control right there to work that inner sunshade. Super easy.
I think this helmet is hands down. It has the ratchet, strap system in there. Click, boom, you're done. Gloves. I've used the thin gloves. I've used the road gloves. Everything's simple to use. The visor pops in and out. Very durable. No issues. The visor in the front goes up and down. Totally practical, regardless of what you wear.
Do you wear glasses?
I do.
Easy in, never an issue.
It actually has cutouts in there. You don't even know you're trying to get them in and out. They come right in and out. I mean, this helmet has it all, really. It's an incredible package.
Function, form, ease of use.
Has every
looks
feature
good.
you could want. Just, what can you want? You got the glasses, internal visor, external, pin lock, flow, lightweight, super aerodynamic. Interior comes out easily.
So
graphics.
You took the liner out and gave it a little wash?
I just dip it.
Okay.
Something very light.
Sure. But let's say it's got, obviously it's all, Cool Max, so suck the sweat off of you.
Yeah.
Functional?
This is one of the best helmets I've used. It's a magical little helmet for the price, yeah.
I've never heard that as a description, as an adjective to describe a helmet. It's magical.
Yeah, on-road, off-road, ventilated, lightweight, pin lock, internal visor. I mean, what more could you ask for? And this paint works for anybody, I believe.
And you got bugs and stuff?
Bugs to prove it, yeah.
Cool, man. Well, right on. Would you recommend it to a friend?
Totally.
Great bang for the buck.
Yeah, you can't really beat this at all.
And on a dual sport, if it's functional on a dual sport, imagine on a sport tour.
Yeah.
I mean, just saying. I mean...
This is the way to go right here, the Kabutos.
Well, right on, dude. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank
Appreciate
you.
your thoughts, your opinion. You putting in the time inside the helmet. You know, with bugs like this, you can't fake that. You can't fake that. That's George. I'm Rob Fish. We're BikeBandit.com. Thanks for joining us on this latest edition of Bandit Tested.